Hi, this is Christine and welcome to Scrap and Rabbit. I just finished a project and today's project was a lot of fun because they're cupcake boxes, and not only are they a hoot to make, but I also get to eat the cupcakes now. Anyways, I want to show you the boxes individually, but I will put my camera back in the stand so that I can show you all the embellishments that I did on the box and what the different templates look like. The templates are available in my Etsy shop. There's 8 templates. They all have the same big shop design, but they come in 8 different color schemes, so you can use these for different occasions. These can be used as treat boxes, cupcake boxes, or also gift boxes. It's up to you to decide what you want to use them for. So I'm going to show you each box individually, and also I'll show you what the templates look like. And this is going to be a tutorial, a 2-part tutorial on how I assembled the boxes. So first, let me show you a couple of the boxes that I already have cupcakes in, because once I put my camera in the stand, I don't want to move these around too much. So there's the first one. You can see the cupcake at the top. And here's another one on the back. And there's another one here on the top, and then this one is, you can see it through the top and the back. So I'm going to put my camera in the stand now and I'll be right back. I'm going to do a close-up of each of the little boxes so you can see what they look like, the different color schemes, and how I embellished them. Each one basically has the same little design on it that I created, but they come in different color schemes. They all measure 3 1/4 inches wide by 3 1/4 inches high, and they're 3 1/4 inches deep. And the box opens in the front like that. Now, because I actually have a surface all around of 13 inches, the way I designed the templates, you can still make an entire box from one sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and I'll show you the templates in a sec. These are basically 2 pieces that are attached together to form the one little box. So let me show you quickly the templates. There's 8 different templates. I just printed these on plain 8.5 by 11 copy paper, but if I'm making a box, I would print it on cardstock, and I'm just using my regular 65-pound cardstock that I get from Michael's on sale. So I'll just show you the different layouts, or the different colors. This is good for baby shower, and here's another one. Now, I just printed these on my inkjet printer, and I printed some of my designs at Staples on their color laser printers, and the colors are like super brilliant, so I imagine these would be gorgeous. But this is just to show you, you can also just use your regular inkjet printer and they come out very pretty. Now, of course, the colors will vary a bit depending on your printer, and also this video will not give you absolute true colors. And this one I printed on a piece of cardstock. Normally I would use white. I ran out of white, so I printed this one on cream colored, and it still comes out great. This is the one that I'm going to make in today's video. So let me just show you each of the little boxes, and it'll give you some ideas on how to embellish them when you're done. Now, this one has the little cutout at the top with plastic so you can see what's inside. And I have, on each one, I put a little canopy and I embellished. And on that, opens like that. On the back, for this one, I made a little envelope or a little pocket, and I put a little tag in there. And then you can write a little note. If this is a gift for someone, you can write a little personal note on there. So that's my little red themed cupcake box. This is another one with the insert or the cutout on the top, and I use my die cut for this again, and I put some flowers on the top here, And then I've got a different punch that I used for the canopy. And on the back, I just attached some cardstock in a little ribbon, and then again, a note can be written on there. This one has the cutout on the back, and you'll notice it's up a little bit higher. It's not perfectly centered because this one is made to be used for a cupcake. So you can see in here I have the insert in there. In this tutorial I'll show you how to make the what they call the cupcake stabilizer. And on the top I have a die cut heart and some little pearls, little flowers, and that opens like that, and you can see the cupcake insert in there. And again, I have the little canopy. This one is the green box, and I have some little pearls here, and I put a nice big flower on there, and this is a handmade rose, little butterfly, and on the back I have another little butterfly, and I used my die to do the cutout. Now, because this one is low, I would use this one for candies. I could fill the box with candies because I don't want my cupcake stabilizer to show. If I wanted to use it for cupcakes, I would have just lifted up this design a bit so that it would hide where the cupcake insert goes. Here's another one. This one is ideal for a little girl, a baby girl. So if you're having a wedding shower or you have a special gift for someone. And I put these little beads on there, or these little acrylic pearls. And then I have this rosette that I made. I just attached that to the top. I have a tutorial that shows how I make my rosettes, so I'll include a link to it in the description of this video. And on the back, I cut out, or I die cut, this punched design, and I've got the plastic in there. Again, because it comes down low and I don't want to see my my cupcake stabilizer, I would use this for candy. And here's one for a birthday. I put best wishes on the front on the little canopy. And I've got some little flowers, little button, and some birthday ribbon on there. And this one is ideal for a cupcake because you'll see it's up higher, the cutout starts up higher on the back, and it comes over to the front like that. So I'm going to make one in this style today, so you see how I did the plastic wrap around there. So basically the design on the front is the same, but because the colors are different and the embellishments are different, the boxes end up looking different too. Here's one that would be great for a baby shower. And on the front here, I die cut congratulations. I've got a little bit of bling on here. I die cut the heart, and then I used my other die to make sort of the trim that covers, and you can still see through, and there's the plastic. I put a little flower on there, and I just left the back on this one plain, but I could again add a little piece of cardstock to write a note on there. So I'm going to start by cutting my template. Now you'll notice some of these have a brown section. This is the roof of the little bakery. They don't all have that. 4 of them do, and 4 of them don't. The ones with the brown top, this is the top. So when you're constructing the box, you're going to want to make sure that this ends up being on top. I mean, you could flip it around like that if you wanted just a plain blue as well, but it's important to note that as you're attaching your pieces, if this is going to be the top of your box, you follow the order. One thing I want to mention is when I printed the file, I'm using the Adobe free reader. There are options in there so that you can print according to either fit the page, to be the actual size, to shrink oversized pages, and custom scale. Those are the options that I have on my version. I don't know if it's the same for you. If you do have the option, make sure you select actual size, because you want this to come out in the original size of the design so that they will measure 3 1/4 and they will fit on your page. So it's probably there by default, but just make sure you check that before printing. So I'm going to use my paper trimmer because I'm not very good at cutting straight, and I'm just going to adjust my camera so that hopefully I can get this to fit in there. Okay, so I'm going to start by trimming around the design. So I've got 2 pieces in here. I've got this section and this section. So I'm going to just start by trimming around the edges. I'll cut the rest off after. I'll do this one. And the rest I'm going to use my scissors. Now these little corners here, I'm going to trim these diagonally. I've got a little bit of white showing, so I'm just going to trim this edge off a bit straighter. Now these are going to be the flaps, as you can see in this box. Those are the flaps at each end. And here is my roof. Then I'm going to use my scissors again and cut these sections off. So I'm going to just cut across like that, and then I can cut in. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So here are my cut pieces and ready to score. So I'm going to grab my scoreboard, and I'm going to place my first piece up against the scoreboard, and basically I'm going to score along the edges where the flaps are. So if you put your piece on your scoreboard like that, I score at 1/2 inch, and then 3 3/4 inches, then 7 inches, and 10 1/4 inches. Then I rotate. And I score at 1/2 inch. And then I just turn this around and I score again at 1/2 inch. Next, I take my other piece, place it on the scoreboard, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch, at 3 3/4, at 7 inches, and at 10 1/4, like that. And I can fold my pieces. Same thing on this piece. And then fold the flaps up. Now you can use glue to assemble the box if you want. I prefer using this tape. It makes for a much cleaner job and you don't have to wait for it to dry. So I'm going to put my two-sided tape along the edges and the bottom here. Nothing on top. And I'm going to place it so that it's close to the crease. My seams are 1/2 inch, but this is I think about 1/3 inch two-sided tape. And then on this one, because this is going to be my roof, I'm not going to tape the front. I want to tape the bottom of the of this piece underneath the box. I'm going to put a piece of two-sided tape on the bottom section of this piece. If you're using a piece that doesn't have that brown square, then it doesn't matter which side you use or which edge you put your tape on. Okay. So this is going to assemble like this. I've got my roof on top, and there's the flap that will slide in the front of the box like that. And this will wrap over like that. It's going to come around the back and then attach underneath the box. It's a little hard to hold this when it's not tied down, but basically that's what it's going to look like. So if I want my cutout at the top, this is where I would do it. If I want the cutout at the back, I would do it here. And when I'm doing my cutout, keep in mind, if you are making cupcake boxes, Depending on the height of your cupcake stabilizer, if you don't want it to show, make sure you punch your design out a little bit higher than where the cupcake stabilizer would go up to. I'm making the design that has the cutout at the top and folding over down to the back. So I'm going to cut my design right here on this section, and I'm going to do that before I even start assembling the box because it's a lot easier to do. I'm going to use this die, and this is from Spellbinders Nestabilities Magic Elements, but you can use whatever die you want, and also you can just cut this out by hand if you prefer. So I'm going to center my die. This is going to go like this and wrap over the top. So I'm just going to center this left to right and right in the middle where my crease is, and I'll put a little bit of tape to hold that in place. So I've got my die facing down, and I'm going to place it on my machine like that. So there's my cutout. And I think I'm going to make a nice little embellishment around there. I'm going to use again the same die, and I'm going to make a trim. So I'm going to position that like that, and I'm going to cut a little border for that. So here's my little border that fits in my die cut area like that. So I'm going to use a little bit of glue just to adhere that. And again, it's easier to do this now than after my box is assembled. So now I'm going to carefully place this on my cut piece. And I'll let that dry for a bit. So now my piece has dried, and I can just fold that down at the score line like that, and there's the insert, or there's the cutout. So I'm going to put some plastic on the inside. If you want to use a food grade plastic, you can probably just grab a Ziploc bag, a clear Ziploc bag, cut out the piece of plastic that will fit beyond the opening. And I'm going to use some two-sided tape to attach that. position that on the inside. And the opening is done. Like that. So now I can assemble my box.